to my channel. Welcome to my first top 10 list for the top 10 open world video games of all time. Isn't this exciting? I'm so excited. Okay, so some ground rules before we get started. One of which is I must have completed the game. Yes, that is a restriction. I must have played the game to its fullest extent. 2, this is my opinion. Strictly my opinion. If your game did not make this top 10 list, I'm sorry. Please let me know in the comments below if this game was on your list, or if it wasn't, tell me what your favorite game is for top 10 open worlds. I'd love to see your list. I'd love to hear your opinion. And please let me know in the comments below. Also, another thing about this list, these games must have an open world exploration section. They can be linear. The linear is an option, but they must be open world first. So you can have sections for the story where they're linear, but you can also have open world exploration. These games must have an open world exploration section, so they will make the list if they have that section. Which, you know, most games are linear. I mean, even if they're open world, they still have a linear story. Might have multiple endings. Maybe. Anyways, so we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Starting off this top 10, we have Diablo 3. Now, I know that this has a linear storyline, and it's one of those games where... Starting off, we have Diablo 3 at number 10. The story is fairly linear and very intriguing and very easy to kind of follow. You play as one of the selected classes, which each have its own build and its own unique skills. The end game, what makes this an open world game, is the end game is completely open. You can revisit sections of maps, do rifts, and participate in various dungeons, from greater rifts to just open world farming. And what makes this game great is that for $30 you get a game that is both complete and almost unlimited farming in the open world sections. Character building in this game is very simple and very easy to play, while being one of the best games in the above character genre. A lot of those genre games are considered to be compared to Diablo 3, with over 200 hours of gameplay. Easy. You can sink your teeth into this world with the epic cutscenes and epic story, as well as farm to your heart's content, reaching that level 70 cap so you can get Paragon to get the Paragon 2000. Next on the list, I'm cheating a bit this time, considering that this game you cannot officially beat. But I'm going to include it here because it is one of the best and most popular open world games in its franchise. It's called Minecraft. I have not actually beaten Minecraft because you can't actually beat it, but I usually play on the creative difficulty. No, I did not specify in the rules about difficulty, so this is kind of my points here. Minecraft as a creative engine is absolutely phenomenal. While playing on the creative difficulty, you don't have to worry about enemies losing health, losing stamina. Basically, you can mine to your heart's content and craft whatever. I personally like making gigantic cities and exciting vistas. I even once tried to replicate Gondor in Lord of the Rings with it, which you can do. There were even stories of people making the Enterprise from Star Trek inside Minecraft. Number 8, A Blast from the Past. Anyone during the days of the N64 will have remembered this memorable game, and it is Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. As a childhood favorite of mine, I personally enjoyed playing this game on hours on end, but it wasn't until my college career that I actually was able to officially beat Ocarina of Time solo. When I was a kid, I had a lot of trouble with the first dungeon, the Deku Tree. As an open world game, it defined the genre of open world with its unique exploration, the ability to do side quests, and collect different items and weapons. While the story is mostly linear, the ability to return to dungeons, which I don't know why you would do that, personally was exciting, especially for that era. The graphics were spot on, the story was absolutely phenomenal. Compared to its other entries in the genre, it is by far the most iconic of the Legend of Zelda series for a console game. At number 7, we have Ni no Kuni 2. From the gorgeous art style to the spectacular combat to a great story. Originally released on the PS4 and Steam, and I believe Xbox, I'm not sure on that. Feel free to correct me in the comments. From the gorgeous art style of its traditional RPG to the spectacular combat and fluent system, the ability to select 3 companions with differing combat styles and magic styles. You can mix things up by changing out different weapons, selecting different skills, to the wonderful world to explore, and the great story of a king ousted from his kingdom to start his own. Included in this is a civilization style building, with the ability to take on tougher monsters and even go into infinite loot dungeons is a dazzle to behold. At number 6, we have The Witcher 3. Yes, I know, The Witcher 3 is a fantastic game. Why would it be at number 6, though? Well, that's because there are some games that, although don't have the same capacity as Witcher 3, Witcher 3 is by far one of my favorite games. Having almost completed it on Death March difficulty, I have a fond memory of playing The Witcher 3. Granted, it took me about 4 years after originally getting the game to finally beat it on the PS4. From a spectacular story that has literally infinite endings, almost. It has limited endings, don't quote me on that. But having the ability to expand the story and change the story by your decisions, and the ability to perform different quests from different quest boards, helping out villages and help surviving in the wildlands while being pursued by the wild hunt, makes it a fantastic story to play of love, companionship, and a search for a daughter. To the character customization, you can easily sink in over 500 hours into this game and still not have explored everything that there is to explore. The Witcher 3 provides spectacular visualization along with the expansive story and the ability to perform multiple quests. This makes it a true gem in the open world franchise. At number 5, even though Witcher 3 has its spectacular moments, this game has the heart since its release on the PS4 as Monster Hunter World. Though originally a niche market, jumps to the number 5 slot. One of my personally favorite games. It is a gorgeous game. The level of attention it gets from Capcom is absolutely phenomenal. Now on the Xbox 360, PC having the release of Iceborne coming in just a few days, as of this recording, to the PS4, it is a gem, attracting nearly 14 million players and still being a spectacular game even after 2 years of operation, still with plenty of new combat, plenty of new monsters, and plenty of new additions. From the character customization to make your hunter look the way you want, to customizing your palico, as well as the various monster types and how to fight them, from the 14 weapons that can take from literally any form of combat imaginable, from games like Horizon Zero Dawn to the hack and slash style to even the more complicated charge blade, where it requires an in-depth tactical knowledge of your weapon. Just the weapon system alone can take you easily over 1,000 hours to master each weapon. Meanwhile, just mastering one can take you over 1,000 hunts just alone. While great in gameplay, great in story, great in its monster diversity, it is by far one of the best games of the decade of 2000 of the. But even Monster Hunter World, with all of its fantasticness, I do not think it can beat this game at our number 4. God of War, released not too long ago as a PS4 exclusive. It has a spectacular story between Kratos and his son, Boy, or Atreus. They explore the world of the Nordic gods, where you explore Norse mythology and meet Freya, the goddess of fire. You run into Balder. As far as the gameplay goes, it is by far one of the most action-packed gameplay experiences I ever had. Being able to throw your Leviathan axe at a distance and then come in with a quick melee attack. The game feels slow to start, but as soon as you get farther into the story, the combat really picks up. What makes this a spectacular game is simply the conversation between Atreus and his father, Kratos. While having a cast of memorable characters, though mostly linear, it does fit the open world genre because there is plenty of things to explore and side quests to encounter while exploring the world. This allows you to go between the linear story and the open world side questing. As such, it does make it fitting to be an open world game, as it is a reboot of the original God of War series, having been mostly linear through most of its lifespan. The revamped God of War is a spectacular game for anyone looking to experience a open world game for the first time. But even God of War, with all of its power and everything, this game being an original PS4 exclusive, having been a revamp from their Killzone series, it's Horizon Zero Dawn. This game is just beautiful. When it came out, a lot of people were speculative about how it would do, from the critics to the actual game designers in other companies. This game just blew us away with its beauty, its memorable lead actress, and the combat is stellar, ranging from a variety of bows and arrows to slings to a variety of style of combat. You hunt the machines from the shadows. Using the parts from machines, you're able to craft new weapons, more ammo, and the character customization is amazing with the mod system. The story is great, especially for having the story is great and absolutely spectacular and a thrill to behold, with memorable characters, and it is just a memorable game to play as you explore the destruction of our world by bio-absorption. As much as I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, this game takes us back to a time when PC games were really amazing, back to the days of Dragon Age Origins, number 2 on the list. This was a game that started the Dragon Age genre. Not only was it a fitting origin, as each race had its own origin story based on the class that you chose with the race that you chose, having memorable characters and a thrill of excellent party members that just were so engaging. Your decisions in the game alter your party's decisions about you and can actually turn them against you. While having a fantastic story and fantastic characters, the fact that you are the last Grey Warden to survive during the Blight and eventually you take down the Archdemon, this is a game that I recommend as one of the best open world genres, as the game is absolutely phenomenal with the ability to explore various regions and being a spectacular game. Even the DLC added to the story by allowing you to play as one of the Darkspawn to save the Archdemon. Now, this game has a fantastic combat system following much like World of Warcraft and other games similar, but at the same time adding in a tactical view that allows you the patience to actually conduct combat, giving you a methodical approach to actual combat. Combining all this together, it makes one of the best games, in my opinion. Now, before we get into our number one mention, I want to briefly touch on a game as an honorable mention, and that is World of Warcraft. This game gets a mention because it's without a doubt the game I have the most hours in. Close to over 3,000 to 4,000 hours dumped into a game makes the honorable mention. World of Warcraft is an MMO with a fantastic world and a great story. Even though most of you probably watching this video are already familiar with World of Warcraft and its decline, I still think that as far as story and a dedication of team and its thrill to play makes it one of the best open world games in existence. Now, even though it's an MMO and you have to pay a fee of $15 a month to play, it is still one of my favorite games to date. Now for the number one pick. And many of you should probably have seen this coming, as it is the game that started my channel. It is the game that is literally my first video ever on Dratta Arcana Gaming. And it is Skyrim. Skyrim is a beautiful world, beautiful story, very fluent, and very fun to play. With its vast expanse of open world and how you approach the game in general, the game gives you limitless options on how you want to approach the story with its infinite leveling system and its ability to fight different enemy types and even combat dragons and eventually ride dragons, making it one of my favorite games of all time. The ability to approach every scenario as you see fit and even slaughter an entire city if you so want, making it one of the best games to ever be released. Its multiple releases on both the Switch, Xbox One, and further makes it one of the best games to ever drop. As such, this game marks the number one spot. I do not think that there is a better game out there as Skyrim, as memes from the game have even made it into the regular world. Any RPG group will know the phrase, "I was an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow to the knee." As such, that marks the end of the top 10 list. Let me know in the comments what your top 10 list would be, or even tell me if I'm wrong or right. As always, feel free to subscribe. Click that subscribe button if this is your first time here, and maybe you'd like one of these videos. Also, if this is the first time that I have a Patreon, if you want to support me financially, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Link will be in the description. As always, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.